Welcome to the Garden of Favor podcast, where we are committed to cultivating lives and businesses God's way, because when we do, we see the undeniable evidence of His favor. I'm warning you now, be prepared to cry and shout some yeses and amens as we ask ourselves the tough questions and get honest with God about what He wants to do in us and through us for the kingdom. Hi, sister friend, I'm Heather. Teacher turned six-figure corporate exec, turned top 1% network marketer, turned living my best life dream job as a mindset strategist and kingdom blueprints coach for Christian entrepreneurs. I believe your life is much like a garden and your business plays a major role in fulfilling your purpose and calling. Are you ready to get your mindset and your heart set in sync with the Father so you can bloom into all He's created you to be? Then let's grow, girl. Hey friend, welcome back. We are talking about a very popular topic lately, not only in my world, but in my coaching. And so I'm bringing it to you all today on this episode. God is so funny. And if you noticed, whether you are still trying to figure out what it is that the Lord's calling you to do, or you realize that, man, oftentimes God will put us in a place where He positions us to be able to help people who have dealt with similar struggles that we have gone through. And I think that's so much why in the program, the group coaching program that I'm just relaunched, the Bloom Academy, it's all about uncovering your purpose and your calling and how certain things tie together. And part of that's your story. So God's funny. Money. It has just been, I feel like I've been around the world and back again with money. And so the Lord often brings women in my path who have money mindset issues, just like I used to have. And I'm going to be honest with you, I still work through some of those today because the enemy loves to come in and distort us. And he just loves to plant seeds and lies and all the things. So today, this is going to be pretty short and sweet because I felt it was super impactful, but this is about money and potentially why you are sabotaging your sales. So if you have found yourself saying things like, I don't think she's going to purchase, or she doesn't have the money to buy this, or he, and depending on he or she, right, who your clients are, but are you making assumptions about your client based on what you think they feel about money? For example, if your ideal client is a a stay-at-home mom, you may have the assumption that she doesn't have any money. And if you have that assumption that she doesn't have any money, well, selling to her will feel really, really icky because you're thinking that you're trying to sell to somebody who doesn't have money. But my question to you is, do you really know her money story? And is perhaps your money story impacting your money story about her? Listen, if this is speaking to you and you realize you have got some money issues, I want to help you. So hopefully this podcast gives you some food for thought. But if you really want to get to the root of your problem, as a reminder, I do one-on-one coaching and I do offer packages, but I also offer one-off breakthrough strategy calls. And if that's what you're in need of and this episode speaks to you or any of my other episodes, you can always email my team and we will get back to you with my schedule so that you can book a 1-hour breakthrough call to help you pull the weeds and break through whatever it is that is holding you back from getting to the next step in your calling and in your life and or your business. All right, so your ideal client, she's a stay-at-home mom. She doesn't have money. Or does she? Right? So are you assuming that based on a picture on a profile? Listen, I did network marketing for years. And so I know that when I would go to friend people, yes, I did that. Yes, I built large businesses online. And I believe I did it with integrity and with truly wanting to help people. But in the beginning, I was taught a bunch of tactics to go and friend a lot of people and send hey girl messages. And that never felt right to me. And so I didn't do it. And I built relationships with people, but I did make assumptions based off people's profiles. Shame on me. And if you're doing that, shame on you. Don't do that. But if you, whether you're in network marketing or you're like me, you're like a coach, or you're a real estate agent, you're a photographer, you are I don't know what you are, but I think so often we make judgments of other people based off of our own perceptions and our own assumptions and our own life experiences. So, who is to say that a stay at home mom doesn't have the money to afford what it is that you have to offer? I don't know. Who is it to say that the single mom doesn't have the money to purchase your health coaching program? I don't know. But sadly enough, we oftentimes will make decisions and we will make assumptions for our customers or our potential customers. And that in turn impacts how we connect with them. It also impacts how we talk to them. It impacts how we move forward confidently with selling what it is that we have to offer. So, are you sabotaging your sales? Maybe you are, because you're making an assumption of the person on the other end because of your own money story, your own dialogue, or your own assumptions, your own circumstances. Can you stop doing that today? And I want to give you some practical tips, not only on like telling you just stop it, don't decide for them. But what do you do? How do you do it? How do you offer something confidently? Well, number one, does your product or service solve a problem? If it does, then do you believe that it really does a good job at that? Then if you do, you would carry confidence in that. Here's the reality. There are hundreds of different types of cars on the road, but everybody bought one of them. There was a buyer, and there are different types. Thinking about going down the bread aisle, there are all different types of bread. Someone might buy the 99-cent bag, and someone might buy the one that's $3.29. Why? Nobody's making assumptions in the bread aisle or at the car lot. People who are ready to pay, they're ready to take the money, and they're ready to serve. And so I want to encourage you to be ready to serve and assume that everybody wants what you have to offer, because what you have to offer is of value, especially if what you have to offer was a download from the Lord. For example, I currently can think of a client now. She has a course that she wants to sell, but she is devaluing her course so that more people can buy it. There's a couple things around that that's probably stemming from that. One, it could be potentially her own money story. But two, it's like she perhaps feels some guilt from taking money from people, and maybe even the fear of success. What if she could sell that course at a premium price and it did transform her client? What if? And, I think sometimes we can go into these desperation modes that we think we have to discount our services or discount our product, or perhaps just not ask because it's uncomfortable. And what if they say no? It kind of ties to the last episode I did about money. Like, do not tie the outcome to, don't take it personal. It has really not anything to do with you, which is my other tip, is learn how to get really good at helping your customers see how you can solve a problem for them. And the Lord is doing this in my life because I feel like I've recently pivoted with my coaching. And because I'm doing so much breakthrough mindset strategy coaching, my message has changed a bit. It's not how to scale your business from wherever it's at to six figures, or it's not how to it's not even necessarily the how to uncover your purpose and calling anymore, which is crazy that I have been really blessed that the Lord gave me content to help women walk through that. But I don't feel that's where the Lord is taking me, as I'm really seeing the Romans 12:2 be transformed by the renewing of your mind, and how that is so critical for a Christian to understand what does that mean, and not just from a feel-good perspective, but from a actual, let's get down to the science behind your brain and why it's working against you, and let me help you be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So I share that because I want you to know my story is changing a little bit, and my ideal client is for one-on-one really is changing quite a bit. It's still the same woman, but I have to speak to her differently, right? So when you can learn to speak to your client and speak to their weaknesses and their pain, and they know that you have a solution for the pain and that you can help them solve a problem, they will purchase. I gave this analogy, and I'll give it to you, that if your car broke down and you knew that there was a part that was needed and you didn't have the money for it, but in order for your car to function appropriately and to actually work, you need the part. Well, you could say, I don't have the money. But if that is your only means of transportation and you need that vehicle, I think most people will figure out a solution. They will figure out a way. Perhaps they will find things in their closet like I have in seasons of my life, and I sold it on Facebook. Maybe it's not glamorous, but it worked. Or perhaps you will create a lower ticket offer or some flash sale, or I don't know, get creative. Or you would ask to borrow money, or you'd put it on a credit card, or you would dip into your savings. I'm not saying any one of those are right or wrong. What I'm saying is that when you're desperate to find a solution to your problem, you find the solution. Oftentimes, we don't really see that our product or our service is a solution to somebody's problem. And when we can present a solution to somebody's problem that has been nagging at them or that is preventing them from getting from point A to B, like if your car needed that part, you would figure it out. And you would figure it out because you need the car. So when you can show that your product fulfills a need, people will purchase. I say that there is somebody selling what you want to sell or what you think is too expensive to people who are just like your ideal client. They're doing it. There's probably people selling it for more. And so do not devalue your product or your services because of somebody else's budget. That's number one. But that's number two. Number one is stop making assumptions based on your own money story or your own ideas about the person on the other end, what they want and what they need, and whether or not they're going to purchase or not. What I want to encourage you to do is offer your product or your services confidently, because you do know and do believe in what it does and what it can do for your client. And then the other part that's pretty basic, but that gives some options, because reality is you won't have a lot of people buying your highest ticketed priced item or service, right? Because it's the creme de la creme. And to get a person to buy that, you're going to have less people purchasing that. However, quality over quantity works in that regard, right? So if you only had 10 people purchasing $1,000 something, then you got 10 grand. Whereas you would need, hundreds of lower ticketed items, or possibly thousands, whatever it is you're selling, to equal that. So quality over quantity, remember that. But remember, your highest ticket item or your highest service or product, whatever, most people aren't going to buy that. So what else can you offer them in the interim? And I run into this a lot with coaching. So I do try to screen people and let them know, hey, here is the ballpark of what we could do to work together, whether it's doing the VIP bi-weekly one-on-one calls, getting access to me every Monday through Friday via Voxer. So you pretty much have a coach Monday through Friday. Or do you want to do a one call? Or would you like to invest in one of the programs that I have? Or what's coming, as the Lord has been shifting again in my life, a subscription membership group, a membership group that you can be part of. Stay tuned for that. Spoiler alert. But I also are praying through, okay, God, how can I serve the woman that you've called me to serve where she's at? Because a lot of the times it's her own money story. Just like it's your money story selling to her, a lot of the times her buying is her own money story. So how can you serve your ideal client where they're at? So the logical thing would be to offer, 2 or 3 different options for her that still give value, but are at different price points. So for me, that looks like one-on-one coaching, and then that looks like programs in the middle, and then that's going to look like the membership, where it's larger. But they all can serve my woman, my Christian entrepreneur who wants to do business God's way, not just for God, but with God, and wants breakthrough. She wants help seeing how do you run a business with the Lord, and how do you have a kingdom business? That's who I'm called to serve. So how can you offer multiple different things, and don't overcomplicate it? I'm not talking about three very crazy different things, just in different tiers, And so when your client has a need and you show up with the solution for the need, like the tires or the part of the car that she needs to make her car work, and she feels that pain enough, she will make a purchase. And so your job in the moment is to provide value, show her how you can help her solve a problem, and offer the various things that you have to offer that the Lord has gifted you with. So don't let your own money story dictate somebody else's money story, and don't let your own money mindset issues determine your potential client's money mindset issues. Be confident in the services that you have to offer, or the products that you have to offer, and offer them unapologetically, with zero strings attached, with zero assumptions of whether she will say yes or no. And know that in the right timing, the Lord is going to bring the right people into your path. All right? So stop sabotaging your sales and get out there and share what the Lord has given you confidently and boldly and with a servant heart. Father God, thank you. Thank you for giving us things and services and ways that we get to serve the communities that you have blessed us with. Father, please help us to stop making assumptions based off of our own mindset issues, or based off of maybe being judgy and assuming what we think might happen. But Lord, help us to trust your plan. When we give you our yes, that we can trust you with the rest. And when we create things, and whether it's a service or an opportunity for potential clients, that Lord, you're going to make it work in your timing. And our job is to show up and serve and provide the solution confidently without discounting it and discounting what you have given to us. But God, that knowing that you have called us right where we are. And we thank you for allowing us to work with you and partner with you to advance the kingdom. God, we love you. We thank you. We praise you. In Jesus' name, amen.